All right, Jamie and John coming back at you. We've got 3 bourbons we're going to taste today. And Jamie, we were talking about this, but I found this recently. It's called the Bourbon Tasting Logbook. It's like a lab notebook, and which is appropriate because, when you're drinking bourbon sometimes, it's you're taking lab notes.
It's nice.
And inside, it's got like pages where you can it's got a flavor wheel. And so when you sip on something and you're trying to figure out what do I like, what don't I like, you can keep notes. But we're going to give one of these away.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You brought, stay tuned. There's a story about maybe my first memory of meeting Jamie Run.
Yeah.
And maybe your first memory of meeting John Spear.
It's definitely a classic.
It's definitely a classic.
Definitely.
But there will be an opportunity for you to win one of these free. I will ship it to you. But you have to be the first person to leave a comment on, I'm going to go with either Facebook or YouTube because I do publish these on YouTube, but then once it's published on YouTube, then I post it on Facebook. So the first person to leave a comment with the correct answer will get one of these bourbon tasting logbooks.
It's a great giveaway. Giveaway.
But,
now I keep a little bit of a journal.
Do you?
Mine are. It's a book that
I haven't yet, but it's a good idea.
It's great ideas I have while drinking bourbon. and by the end of the night, there is some crazy stuff in that book.
So, is there any great ideas that you're willing to share?
No.
Have you acted on any of the great ideas?
I haven't yet, but
we should review that.
I'm getting nervous that I might one day because
there. Feels like there might be a flamethrower involved.
There's a lot of flamethrowers. There's a lot of unique stuff in there.
All right. Well, that might be a whole different channel all by itself. Jamie's Bourbon Journal.
Yeah, it is outstanding.
Okay. Anyway, so stay tuned, and I'm gonna remember on the front end this time. I hope you stick around to give your chance to win a free prize. It's not going to cost you a damn thing. And hopefully we're a little bit entertaining. If we're not entertaining enough for you, tell us what we can do differently. Because Jamie and I have known each other for a long time. Let's just say essentially all of our lives. Yeah. We might not remember some of those years because we were too young to remember memories. But if we can do something different, if we should be drinking something different, we're not going to drink beer. We're good for rye.
Yeah.
I can't do the scotches though. Can you do the scotch?
It's been a long time since I've had a scotch.
Last time I had one, it wasn't that long ago. It's like Johnny Walker Red, and it just tastes like I'm eating peat moss.
Yeah, that's a different breed. Yeah,
but I'm kind of curious about some of the Irish whiskeys. I don't really dig those either.
We have St. Patrick's Day coming up.
I know.
We may have to do an Irish whiskey.
That's not a bad idea. And then I've heard.
I got a lot of great ideas. The later in the night it gets.
You didn't drink your book, did you?
No.
God damn it, you should bring your book. All right. Note to future Jamie, when this video publishes, we should do an Irish tasting.
Tasting.
And I've been a little curious, and I'm getting way off topic today, but I've been a little curious about these Japanese whiskeys. Have you delved into that?
I'm not. They seem to be a big deal. So.
I'm curious. All right. So anyway, today I have 3 Barrell. Hang on. Let me get the name right because I can never remember the name. I think the company is called Barrell Bourbon Company, I think is what they're called. And it's Barrell with 2 L's. But I have 3 different bottles. One I picked up, I think this was at a Big Red. It says Bourbon World. But a lot of these Barrell whiskeys, they're store picks.
Yes.
Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And I think Bourbon World is a Big Red brand. And then these other 2 came from Cask and Cellar, which my wife was so kind to pick these up when she was up in northern Indiana. Yeah, this Cask and Cellar the other day. And I've had this one for a bit. I've obviously consumed a little bit more than these other 2. And I didn't want to include it in a tasting until we had a few.
Do you know the difference between the 2 B's and a W?
I think B means bourbon, and I think W means whiskey. So technically,
that would make sense.
Today, I think. That's
why you went to Rose Holman.
Yeah, maybe. So we have 2 bourbons and a whiskey. But I think some of this is cryptic, although Barrell does a decent job of sharing some details about their products on their website. And their website, and we'll include this in the link, the show notes, but it's Barrell, 2 L's, bourbon.com. They have a lot of stuff out there, but mostly I think it's blends. And sometimes they tell you some details and information about what's in the blend, and sometimes they don't tell you shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's dive into the first one. This is called a Barrell Bourbon Private Release. And I think this was, again, a store pick for Big Red. I got this in Martinsville, Indiana. There's 3 Big Reds that I'm aware of. This one's on the bypass if you're from the area, which is Morton Avenue. They have a lot of single barrel and cask strength bourbons if you're ever inclined. So don't go to the other 2 Big Reds in Martinsville. They're not good. I mean, it's fine, but they don't have like good stuff. But this is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, 65% of a 5-year, 20% of a 7-year, 10% of a 10-year, and 5% of a 17-year. So the majority is a 5-year, and I think if this were given an age statement, it would have to be 5-year because it's the youngest thing in there. So, all right, let's give it a go.
What was the proof on that?
It is 115.66 to be precise. All of these are higher proof, and so I give this an age statement of 5 years just because that's the youngest bourbon that's in there. What do you think about the nose?
It's pretty mellow. It's more like
it's very mellow.
It has a little bit of vanilla. It's kind of sweet for as high
a little bit sweet.
For high of a proof it is. There's not a lot. The ethanol is not overwhelming.
It's pretty much. I mean, it's slightly there, but I almost like. I feel like there's a buttery,
very buttery
toffee like nose maybe.
A little heat on the front end.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, for the
proof. Yeah, I mean, for the proof, it's unreal.
Although, hang on, it's going to hit you. At least it's hitting me. Whew. I forgot about this one. I might have misled you before we started recording. It's kind of complicated.
It really is. The more you drink, I mean, there's a lot of legs. I know you guys can't see that, but...
I mean, my glass has been sitting there for a minute or so, and you can kind of still see them on the glass. It's a good product.
It is really good.
I don't hate it.
It's really good.
I don't hate it, and I actually kind of like it.
It's good.
Now, here's the downside. That is not a cheap bottle. Now, I don't have. I'm looking. I started a spreadsheet. I started keeping the spreadsheet after I already had this in my possession, and I think I already tossed the receipt. I always try to keep the receipts, which is weird because everything else in life, I don't need the receipt.
That's
but
right.
When I buy bourbon, I want the receipt.
Yeah,
so I know
you gotta have it.
But if memory serves, and I think this is pretty consistent with the Barrell product line, you're going to spend a little bit north of $100. Now, don't quote me on that
bottle.
Yeah, and sometimes I think you can find one or every so often under $100.
Yeah.
But memory serves, that was probably a 100-ish bottle. And I think it was one of the first times that me personally, I had spent over $100 on a bottle. And I bought a Barrell product because I had watched some other tasting video, and they're like, "Oh, it's
a great thing.
It's so good." Yeah. Like, all right, I gotta see what it's all about. Yeah. Now, I want to get the Barrell Vantage, or Advantage. I can't remember which one it is, but because I've heard really good things about that. But sometimes, like you and I have talked a little bit about this. Like this one's fine. I think we're gonna get into one here in a minute. No, not that one. Yeah, we're gonna get into it in this tasting. Sometimes these bourbons are finished in a this or finished in that. Yeah. And sometimes that's like a sign for we're hiding our flavor.
Well, it's either a real young bourbon that they're trying to enhance the flavor.
Yeah.
And so just take 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it takes. I mean, Knob Creek, that's why I'm a fan of Knob Creek. The lowest thing they're going to throw out is 9 years. Take the time, do it right.
Well, but who could have predicted 10 years ago?
No one. No one. It was in the decline.
No one.
These guys took a stab in the dark and they won. So it was a good deal. So
and I don't think Barrell. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I don't think they distill their own product.
I don't think they do. It's distilled in like 3 or 4 different states. So
yeah.
I think
this one says distilled in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana.
Yeah.
And that one says distilled in Indiana. This one says distilled in Kentucky and Indiana. I don't think they're a distiller. I think they're getting products, whether it's MGP or
I think
something else.
Lawrenceburg a little bit.
They probably do. Yeah. And I think they're blending. So I think they're a blender, if that's a word, in the market. But who could have thought, like 10 years ago, man, this product is going to catch on?
No, I don't think anybody.
Because bourbon's been around. Like this is
it's been around since 1700s. I mean,
it's like the quintessential American beverage.
It is. Yeah.
Like it's like one of the rules. It used to be one of the rules is it can only be made in Kentucky. Now today it can only be made in the United States. So if you see something with bourbon, it is American made.
Oh, absolutely, it is. And there's
American made because it's like champagne in France and like Scotch has to be made in Scotland and tequila has to be made in Mexico. Yeah. So I get that. It's cool, right? But all right, so that's thoughts.
It's pretty good. I mean, for as high a proof it is, it's very smooth.
Yeah.
The ethanol is not overwhelming.
No.
It's there, but it's smooth from front to back. The heat does come up. It sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
But I do like the higher proof releases. So this is a great bottle for me.
And for me right now, in my mouth, I feel like I'm at a movie and I just ate a handful of butter popcorn.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. You could definitely drink this at a movie theater. I think you should sneak it in next time you go.
I've been thinking about getting these, but I don't have a purpose. But like these little sample bottles.
Yeah,
have you seen them?
Yeah.
Like it's like in a little zip case. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's cool, but I don't have a reason to do that. All right, so let's do the second option here, and this is Barrell Bourbon, single barrel cask strength, and I'll put all the details to each of these bottles because, like, this one is blend number D70R bottle 023, you know, and the Barrell Craft website, they like have a lot of details about a lot of the different blends and bottles and whatnot. So this says it does have an age.
8 years.
It's an 8-year.
Yeah. And
the price point on this, it's a little salty. Oop, it's $115. So assume this is 100. This is about 115. This is probably somewhere around there as well.
And what's interesting is the proof's higher on this bottle than it is in this.
It
Just
is?
slightly.
Slightly. All right, so let's dig in and let's go. As far as mash bill on this one, undisclosed. I can't find shit about it. So anyway, it just says on the back, this bourbon in this bottle is from one individual barrel selected for its distinctive characteristics.
Interesting.
Bottled at cask strength, each barrel yields between 120 and 190 bottles. So who the fuck, or sorry, whoops. I'm okay with saying that, but who knows what's in this bottle of bourbon. So anyway, I try to keep it at least PG. I know this might have been, I guess right now, F word's PG right now, right?
Yeah, somewhere in the world it is.
At least one of them.
It is in Painted Hills, Indiana.
I mean, you start saying like 2 or 3 or 4 more of them, maybe not so much. But anyway,
I have a very caramel-ish taste or smell on this.
I think the ethanol is stronger though.
Yeah, it is. It is stronger.
And the proof
is surprising.
The proof is lower.
Yeah, it's very surprising.
I could take caramel.
There's good legs on it. I mean, it's a good drink.
It's hot.
It's hot. To me, it's not quite as hot as the other one, which is expected, but it's very smooth. It's good from front to back.
And I think the heat is consistent.
The heat's very consistent.
My opinion, if I'm comparing 1 versus 2, I think the flavor is boring on this one.
Yeah, there's not much. There's just not much there. It's just
a little bit of heat.
A little bit of heat. And,
but the first one, I think it had good flavor.
I was really impressed with the first one.
Like, I don't like this one so much. It's okay. It's not bad bourbon. And we'll talk about good versus bad here in a moment, especially for the price that we're going to pay. But
right.
I was reminded myself anyway, at the beginning, we gave fans a bit of a tickler.
Yeah.
That they could have a chance to win this prize, the Bourbon Tasting Logbook.
Yeah.
Hundreds, well, I don't know.
It's several.
It's several pages. A lot. You can drink you can drink everything that I have in my collection and have notes on it. And we're going to give this away, but now's the time for you to pay attention. Now's the time for you to leave a comment so you have a chance.
That's right.
You brought an article, and I was like,
I did.
I forgot about that. So it's right behind you, by the way.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but at Morgantown, Indiana's 150th anniversary celebration. This is myself. This is my cousin Dory. Hi, Dory, if you're watching.
Dory!
And then this is John. And we were the coolest kids in Morgantown.
We didn't even know it.
We didn't even know it, but we were, and we still are probably. This was a frog jumping contest.
So Morgantown used to do an annual summer festival. They still kind of do it. They call it Colonel Vauder Days.
Vauder Days.
I don't think they called it that then. But
no, they didn't call that then. They've kind of done away with the frog contest.
Do you remember that? When they had when Morgantown Elementary was there?
Oh yeah.
And they had the big sawdust, and you had to go find coins.
Coins. Oh yeah, we would dive in there, and we'd find about 16 cents, and we'd think we were the richest people in town. But the winner of the day was John Spear.
Frog race.
He was the best frog racer in the history of the United States.
And here's my memory of that event. I remember my dad and I talking about. My dad was very he's like, you got to get in this frog race. And I don't know if it was like my family name was on the line. I don't really know, but
sure it was.
Maybe, yeah. But a lot of I found a toad. I literally found a toad. It was probably this big.
Yeah.
Like a toad that you'd find in your flower bed. And that's the one.
Yeah.
My dad's like, are you sure we should go frog gigging and find a big frog, a big frog? And you had a big frog, right?
I had a big frog.
You had a big frog. I had a toad.
It was lazy, but I had a big frog.
So I got a little toad, and I won the frog race with my little toad. And here's your chance. This is the opportunity. The first person to leave a comment with my toad's name gets a bourbon tasting logbook. And that toad's name was Herman. Yeah. And my great-grandmother, did you ever meet her? Grandma Pat lived down the road? Didn't. Oh, she was quite the character. Anyway, I got stories for days, and we won't bore you all with that. But she had a husband at one point in time whom I never met. I just heard his name, who was named Herman. And I'm like, oh, I'll name the toad after my great-grandmother's once upon a time husband named Herman. And she thought that was so funny because I named the toad after her ex-husband. So anyway, that's the answer to the question is Herman. So first person to comment gets this. I'll connect with you. So, all right, let's do the third one. And this is Barrell Whiskey Private Release. All right, I'm hesitant on this one because it says whiskey finished in a Jamaican rum cask. I don't have a lot of information about this one. Oh, wait, here we go. I lied. CJ13, which is the blend of this bottle, is a blend of Indiana and Kentucky whiskeys. The largest component being a 14-year-old Indiana whiskey finished in a Jamaican rum cask. So I don't know the age statement.
Interesting.
But that's what we got. So
this is how much proof was this?
This is 122.08 proof.
Oh, 0.08.
0.08.
That's very important.
0.08.
There's almost there's a little bit of a chocolate smell, which is interesting.
Chocolate. Like dark or milk?
Milk. I don't eat dark chocolate.
Are you opposed?
Yeah, I'm opposed.
All right. Isn't that good for your heart?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm sure this is too.
Bourbon's fine, yeah. Chocolate. Oh. I never thought of that, but which doesn't blow your mind sometimes about the taste and the nose of bourbons because I know how it's made. How does it get that flavor?
I don't understand it either. I'm disbelieved that it has all the different tasting characteristics, and they're all made the same. It's just the char of the barrel.
And where it's stored in the air. And like there's some
it's
freaking magic that's happening in this stuff.
Yeah.
The ethanol is almost like so overpowering for me though.
The hop, there's some heat in it. And it travels with you.
I mean,
good legs on it.
See, I think my brain is conditioned to say chocolate right now, so I'm gonna like reprogram my brain for that. So, because I do almost feel like it tastes like a little bit like a Hershey bar with some salted peanuts.
Yeah, I mean it does have it has a chocolate taste to it. That's surprising to me.
There's saltiness to me.
There's
a little bit of saltiness in there to me. It's almost like you got the Hershey with almonds.
Correct. That's a good description.
I never thought about that before, and I've tried this before, but that's a good description.
I don't know if you could drink this all night though. As high a proof as that is.
Well, you could drink it until you hit the floor.
I was gonna say you'd end up
hammered.
You'd end up naked running around your neighborhood singing "Cut Night Joe." You did.
Is there something wrong with that?
No, yeah.
I mean, it's probably.
I mean, your wife says you do that twice a week. I mean,
it's probably happened. Yeah, I mean, it's not always Cotton Eye Joe, but yeah.
It's really pretty good. I mean, as high a proof as that is.
Yeah, it's good.
You're right. There's a sweetness to it. There's a chocolate taste.
To me, there's a saltiness to it.
And there is a salt to it.
See, and
which is surprising.
Sweet and salt, like, always goes good together.
Always goes good.
Yeah. Like, that's why, like Reese's peanut butter cups are so popular.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, to me, it tastes like I get the Hershey. There's an element of a Hershey's with almonds in it because there's that. I get the chocolate, and then you get a little bit of that saltiness. All right. Now that you know that these cost, now that you've tasted them, and now you know they're all above $100.
Right.
Would you buy any of these?
Be
honest, dude.
I would probably. I'd probably buy this.
Yeah.
I just felt that one, the others are great, but this one really, to me, it's more of just a sit around the campfire and sip it.
Yeah, it is a good one. And as far as the proof, I mean, it's mid range on proof, but it doesn't drink the proof.
It doesn't. No, it's a mild.
Now this one's hot. This one's pretty.
That one's hot. I mean, if you're out shoveling snow and you need something warm,
that's gonna do it.
This is the deal.
But I think this one lacks the flavor.
It does. It's it's boring on the palate.
It's boring. And like my whiskey palate right now wants something that's not boring.
Great. Yeah. You want some
and this
flavor.
Is boring.
Yeah.
This one's good though.
It's good. I agree.
I mean, it's a lot lighter too though, which is interesting. But I'm guessing that's gotta be from the rum cask.
I think that's exactly
it's gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Because it almost looks like a rum.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all right too, but I mean, for me,
And what was the price point on the first one?
It was 100. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't have notes, but my memory is it was like one of the first bottles that I bought that was over $100.
I would definitely buy this over the third bottle. Yeah. For due to the price, and then to me, this is just.
But would you buy this at 100?
I'd hate to. I'd love to get it on.
There's a lot of other things at $100.
At $100, there's a lot of things I'd buy first.
Yeah. See, I'm glad I have these. I'm glad we tasted them.
I would come here and drink yours.
But I'm going to buy that Barrell Vantage or it's because there's a little bit of hype around that particular bottle, but I don't think I'm buying these for $100.
Agreed. No, I
they're good. This one's good. This one's best. This one's okay. Yeah. This one's So, but I don't think I'm buying them again.
To me, you'd have to take $40, $50 off this one for me to buy this one all the time.
Oh, at least.
And so
to buy this one all the time, this has to be $40.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like this one should be $60.
I agree. Yeah.
Maybe $80.
Yeah.
And this one needs to be about $50.
Yeah.
I think they're overpriced.
They're overpriced.
But
today.
I mean, if you haven't had one, I think it's worth
a try.
One. And if you're going to pick one, pick this one first, right?
Yes.
And I know this is a barrel pick, and I think they're not discriminate about the barrel picks. I think there's a lot of these private releases, the Barrell tongue twister. Barrel Bourbon private release. I think there's a lot of places you can get a barrel release of this. They might be slightly different blends, but this is probably the one to like try if you're curious. Yeah. And again, if I get that Barrell Vantage, I'm going to sip on that. I'm going to let you know if that's better than any of these. But I'm glad I have these. They're not. Don't mishear me. They're really good bourbons.
They're pretty good. I agree.
They're really good bourbons.
They are.
For the price, they're okay bourbons.
Correct. The price is what kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah.
If these were at the 50 price rank point,
it's
all day long.
All day.
All day long.
All day. All day.
It's just when you get to the $100 price point, I expect something a little different. Especially with the middle one.
The middle one was boring.
I expect something. I expect some fruits, some chocolate, some some toffee, something in there that kind of makes me want to come
and
back.
That had, for me, no complexity at all.
No.
All right. Anything else? I think we beat these up.
We beat the daylights out of these guys.
All right. So, again, what's my toad's name? I didn't have a frog. I had a toad. First person to make a comment.
Yeah, he had an illegal frog. I mean, let's be honest with us.
Well,
we had frogs, he had toads.
I know Dave Spear, my dad.
Yeah.
He probably read the rules. And
I'm positive of that.
He probably found the loophole.
He may have broke the rules. I mean, let's be honest.
Like, my dad said something recently. He's like, doesn't all bourbon taste the same?
I saw that.
I'm like, Dad, Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi taste the same? He's like, nope.
I was actually very supportive.
Amen. But he doesn't like bourbon, so
we'll fix that.
If he did. All right, if you want one of these, be the first person to leave a comment on my toad's name. It's Herman. I just gave you another answer. So anyway, until next time. Thank you all.
Thank you.